Hello everybody, it's Reverie Planetarian back here again to make some more bike engines in automation. Now, one of the great things about having simulators like this is that it allows you to play out hypothetical scenarios for things that maybe people might want to exist or that maybe might never come into existence. Like this bike that I'm going to play around with, or at least the bike engine. Back in 1998, there was this mysterious project that is still mired in a little bit of controversy called the Norton Nemesis. The Norton Nemesis was an idea for a V8-powered motorcycle that would have been the most powerful and the fastest bike of its day, 1998. So how would it have done this? It would have done this with a 1.5-liter V8 engine. So that's exactly what we're going to try and duplicate here. A very over-square, very bored-out engine, which I'm just going to take their official measurements for it right here. Almost right on the money with the bore. Something I really wish that this game would come with is the ability to just type in a number to the bore right there, and then just typing in those numbers and getting figures out. That would really help projects like this immensely. It'd especially make it a little more YouTuber friendly because oh, well, that's interesting. Stroke. That's kind of disheartening. Okay, so I can't really make a copy of the Norton Nemesis engine because it had a really big bore but a really small stroke, and I can't really do that here. Maybe if I made it a V, crossplane, would it let me? No. So it's going to have to be a flat plane V8. Well, alright, I can still work with this, because I still have target numbers, and I still have an overall cubic centimeter. So, in order to try and get to those power numbers, and to try and replicate the parts I can actually replicate, I'll be using a 4-valve dual overhead cam, and I'm going to assume they had the best, almost the best stuff of their day. Let's make this a sort of mythical unicorn engine. It's got all its bits and pieces in it, and it was built with love and love and compassion, and they really wanted it to work. This, of course, was naturally aspirated, so we don't have to worry about any turbocharging. It used, and let's say that we're saying its induction is an MBE fuel injection. Let's see about using a throttle per cylinder. Just take a look at the power when it jumps up like that. Performance. Say it was a performance engine, and let's take the rev limit all the way up to 12,000, which thankfully was also the Nemesis's supposed output. And let's see where we are now that we've got our engine here. clearly, we've got some work to do. We know what power we're making. Alright, we can't get much more out by going that way. Let's assume that they have... Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, let's assume we had a throttle per cylinder thing going, and... Interestingly, by switching injection types, you don't really get that much power. That's quite unusual. Now that we know it works, we can add in all the extra performance additions and try to find our missing horses. Tried to, oh god, I tried to pony up, as it were. I'm ashamed of myself. Huh. Alright, so if we go for straight up race parts, we almost get our engine to racing performance. That's interesting. And if we bump up the compression further, we hit 227, 230. Variable valve timing here. By using all of these extra parts that maybe you wouldn't get on something built for production, we get something that very nearly has the same power as the original Nemesis. I mean, when you're making some kind of ridiculous Halo bike that is almost guaranteed to be vaporware, you can only make guesses, but yeah, 3 horsepower, being 3 horsepower off of peak power isn't so bad. Of course, if we actually got the super bored out and really short stroke engine that we really wanted to build, then we would have been able to get those kinds of numbers, especially at the top end there. Once you get to a certain point with an engine's power curve, if it's got a lot of stroke to make, then that's not really power you're generating by spinning up the crankshaft at the top end. That's power you're making from twisting the crankshaft at the low end, like pure torque. In fact, because of that extra stroke length, we're actually getting something like we've got 139 pound-feet of torque here, and the actual engine could only do 111. And because of the changed engine geometry, we're actually getting more torque than the proposed engine would have, which is very curious. Very curious. Although we are having trouble with our old friend Valve Float. That's something to think about, honestly. The problems of making a boutique bike that nobody's quite sure really exists or not. Oh boy. The problems that some people have, eh? Well, one more time before I sign off this time, I guess, I'll just let the engine go one more time. and I'll see you next time.